Hello everybody, video here for you today. Beyond Oak Island is a show in which the History Channel and Rick and Marty Lagina get involved with other treasure mysteries. If you missed any of my recaps for the Curse of Oak Island or Beyond Oak Island, there's a link to the playlist in the upper right. Let's get into it. This is the No Cap recap of the Season 3, Episode 10, called The Legend of Oderin Island. Marty Lagina and Maddie Blake travel to Placentia Bay, Newfoundland, in another episode that focuses on Marty's favorite pirate, Peter Easton, also featured in the Season 2, Episode 8, called Peter Easton's Plunder. Link to the no-cap recap of that episode is in the upper right as well. Peter Easton was an admiral in the British fleet that Queen Elizabeth commissioned to be a privateer to protect English ships in the North Atlantic. As part of the job, he was authorized to plunder ships from rival nations. He built up massive wealth and had thousands of loyal men. 2 years later, King James I outlawed privateering, and instead of returning to England and giving up his fortune, Easton and his men continued piracy on their own. His fleet grew to 40 ships and 5,000 men. In 1612, he made a deal for immunity for payments of £4,000 a year, and he got married to a wealthy heiress and retired. The majority of his fortune has never been found. Marty and Maddie join chiropractor, researcher, treasure hunter Bill Smith and Oak Island veteran diver Tony Sampson to continue on the trail of Peter Easton at Oderin Island, 100 miles southwest of the previous search location of Harbor Grace. Both are known to have been strongholds of Peter Easton. The target is a pond on the northern edge of the island that is 114 feet by 65 feet. Old news stories and local lore says it is as much as 18 foot deep with oak planks on the bottom. There are also flood tunnels that keep the pond from draining. Marty says Tony is here to see if any of that is true. A previous LiDAR scan revealed these two parallel lines they suspect to be man-made flood tunnels to keep the pond from being drained. In one of the talking to the camera shots, Marty points out that there are no oak trees around, so they would have had to have been brought there for a purpose. Tony has zero visibility at the bottom, but he is feeling the bottom with his hand and moving his metal detector side to side. He can push through the silt on the bottom all the way to his shoulder, and he is still not at a hard bottom. He brings up some pieces of wood, one of which is shown here. He later says he felt timber planks and suspects it's a box drain system. He carries all this wood out of the pond to be examined. The pieces of wood are notched so that they fit together like a puzzle. They cannot tell if it's oak or not. The next step is to do a magnetometer scan with a drone to see if there is any metal beneath the wood. The results will take several days. A local expert tells of a likely Easton plundered sunken Basque ship from southwestern Europe that he has dove on several times and is right off the coast of the island near the pond as shown by the white ship. Tony suits up again to dive. Visibility is much better as you can see, and Tony soon finds this piece of pottery. He can look and touch, but due to local maritime law, he can't take any artifacts out of the water. He runs out of air and has to rest, but will do a second dive afterwards. On the second dive, after finding some too modern pottery, he says he's made this incredible find, the nicest olive jar he's ever found with both handles and the lip intact, and thinks it to be 1500s to late 1600s. He keeps looking and finds a bunch of clay pipes And then some more olive jar parts that are the same as the first one in a similar looking bowl. The evidence would suggest there is a shipwreck there. For the wrap up, Bill and Tony joined Maddie and the Lagina brothers in the Oak Island War Room. The magnetometer scan revealed a significant metallic anomaly 3 feet below the sediment layer at this location above the lines that could be a drainage system. Tony spent most of his time in the middle area of the pond. Marty suggests Bill get a full analysis and written report on fully processed magnetometer data because it's definitely worth following up on. Season 4 of Beyond Oak Island has not been announced by the History Channel, but I'll continue to catch up on recapping Season 3 of Beyond Oak Island episodes. I'll also be doing at least 2 videos recapping the Curse of Oak Island Seasons 1 through 8, since I just started those in Season 9. Once again, the Oak Island playlist link is in the upper right. I'm Coach Steve Money. I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. And you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation assessment with me at calendly.com/Coach Steve Money. That's calendly.com/Coach Steve Money. If you got money problems or you just want to make sure you're on the right track, you can make that appointment with me and we can get that done. You can email about coaching or anything else on my YouTube channel like Oak Island, or computers, video games, anything else I talk about. CoachSteveMoney@gmail.com. Channel donations can go to paypal.me/CoachSteveMoney. You can add me on the gram at Coach Steve Money. And of course, this YouTube channel is youtube.com/CoachSteveMoney. Thank you so much for watching.